Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Podcasters, your safe space for learning easy English through real stories and heart-to-heart conversations. I'm Maya. If you are listening to this right now, maybe you're in your kitchen cooking a meal, or perhaps you're on a long, tiring bus ride home after a busy day. I want you to stop for just a second and take a small, deep breath. Just by pressing play and choosing to spend this time with us, you are already taking a brave step forward for your English journey. Even listening quietly is a form of practice that counts toward your future and your confidence.
Hi everyone, I'm Leo, and I am so happy to be here talking and learning with you today. Maya, I have to be honest with you. This morning, I was walking through the park, and I saw a neighbor with a truly beautiful dog. I wanted to say something kind, something simple, but my mind completely froze. The silence felt so heavy because I didn't want to sound strange. And I wasn't sure if I should use the word this or that to describe what I was seeing.
Oh, Leo, that frozen moment is something almost every learner faces in real life. You study so hard at home with your books, but then you step outside into the shop or the street and your brain feels tired because it is doing too much work. You worry about grammar rules, and in that second of doubt, the opportunity to connect with another human disappears.
Exactly. It felt like a test I wasn't ready for. And that is why today's episode is so important. We are talking about how to give heartfelt compliments and how to master those two tiny but powerful words, this and that. We want to help you move away from textbook English and start using life English, the kind of English that feels human, natural, and kind.
I love that. And friends, before we dive into our magic words and role plays for today, we have a small friendly request. If this podcast helps you feel even a little more understood or confident, please subscribe to English Podcasters and click the like button. It really helps our family of learners grow, and it tells us that you want more lessons that help you speak from the heart.
So, Maya, let's start with the basics of today's words. I think many beginners find this and that confusing because they look so similar. How do we feel the difference?
That's the perfect way to ask it, not what is the rule, but how do we feel it? In simple words, we use this for one thing that is close to us. For example, I am holding my coffee mug right now, so I say, this coffee is perfect. It is near me. I can touch it.
Okay, so this equals one thing, and it's near. But what if I'm pointing at your coffee from across the table?
Then you would say, that coffee looks hot. We use that for one thing that is far away. It's about distance. So, this is here, and that is there.
That already feels easier. But I noticed something in our transcripts. Sometimes we use these words for things we can't touch, like ideas or moments.
You are very observant, Leo. This is where English becomes beautiful. We use this for a situation happening right now. If we are having a great conversation, I can say, this is amazing. But if we are talking about a party from last weekend, we say, that was a great day. This is the present moment. That is the past memory.
I see. So this feels close to my heart right now, and that feels a little bit further away in time.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about compliments, because compliments are magic in conversations. They open doors and build friendships. When you want to give a heartfelt compliment, using this or that makes you sound very natural.
Can we try a role play? I want to practice that moment in the park again.
Let's do it. Imagine I am the neighbor walking the dog.
Okay. Hi. Excuse me. Is this your dog?
Yes, it is. His name is Barnaby.
He is beautiful. I love that color on his collar.
Thank you so much. He is very friendly.
See? Using this to ask about the dog near me, and that to point at the color on his neck, felt so much more natural than just saying, is the dog yours?
It did. And did you notice, friends, that Leo used a listening phrase? He said, he is beautiful. Compliments don't have to be long. Quality is better than length. Even simple English can express kindness and understanding.
Maya, I have a question about something I see a lot of learners do. Is it okay to say this food is delicious when you are eating at a friend's house?
Not only is it okay, it's perfect. When you are at a friend's house, saying this is delicious or this home is beautiful shows that you are present and you appreciate their kindness. It creates emotional closeness.
Emotional closeness. I like that. But what if I want to disagree with something? I heard you say that can create distance.
Yes, English is very sneaky. If someone tells you a story you don't like, or an idea you don't agree with, you might say, "That doesn't make sense," or "That is unfair." Using that pushes the idea away from you emotionally.
Wow, so these tiny words actually show our feelings without us even explaining them.
They do. Now, let's look at a common mistake learners make. Many people say, "These shoes are nice."
Wait, is that wrong?
Yes, because shoes are plural. For more than one thing near you, we use these, so you should say, "These shoes are nice." And if the shoes are far away, we use those. Those shoes look comfortable.
This, that for one, these, those for many. I need to write that down in my notes.
Friends, if you are feeling a little overwhelmed right now, please take another breath. You don't need to be perfect today. English is not an exam, it's a bridge to people and stories. Mistakes are your best teachers. If you say, "This apples" instead of "these apples," people will still understand your heart.
I agree. Having an accent or making small grammar mistakes just means you are brave enough to speak more than one language. That is a superpower. Instead of thinking, "My English is bad," try saying, "My English is improving every day." That small change in your self-talk removes the heavy pressure.
Let's move to a work situation, because work makes many of our listeners nervous. Imagine a colleague finishes a presentation. You want to give them a compliment. Leo, what could you say?
I could say, "That was a great presentation. I really liked those ideas you shared about the new project."
Perfect. You used that because the presentation just finished, it's in the immediate past. And you used those for the ideas because there were many of them. This makes you sound professional, kind, and observant.
I feel like I'm becoming a conversation magician already. But Maya, what happens when someone speaks too fast? I want to give a compliment, but I'm afraid I'll miss my chance.
Remember, you have the power to slow the conversation down. You can always say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you say it again?" People are usually happy to repeat themselves because they care about connection over perfection.
That is so encouraging. I think many of our friends listening stay silent because they are waiting to be good enough before they speak.
That is the biggest lie our brains tell us. Your English does not need permission to exist. You don't need to wait until you are perfect to speak. On your hardest flat days, those days when English feels like a heavy mountain, don't run, just don't stop. Even saying one simple sentence like, "This coffee is good," is a victory for your future.
Don't run, just don't stop. I'm going to repeat that to myself tonight. Maya, let's talk about a situation that feels very heavy for many learners. Social problems. Sometimes we see someone who looks sad, and we want to offer comfort, but we are afraid of using the wrong words.
In those moments, simple English is your strongest tool. You can use this to acknowledge their pain. You can say, "I am so sorry you are going through this," or "I know this is a difficult time for you." Using this shows that you are standing right there with them in their situation.
And if they share a hard memory, we can use that?
Yes, you can say, "That must have been so hard for you." Notice how the word "that" honors their past experience, while this honors their present feeling. Kindness doesn't need big vocabulary, it needs clear intention.
Maya, I noticed something else in our conversation. We often use this to introduce ourselves too.
We do. On the phone, you say, "Hi, this is Maya." You don't say, "That is Maya," because you are present in the moment. Introductions are another place where these small words build big confidence.
I feel like my brain is finally making sense of these words. It's not just about distance in a room, it's about distance in our hearts and our stories.
Precisely. We are so incredibly proud of you for staying with us until the end of this episode. It shows you are dedicated to your journey and your voice. Now, we have a small challenge for you, an English Podcasters Challenge.
In the comments below, give someone a heartfelt compliment using the words we learned today. It could be a compliment for a friend, a family member, or even for yourself.
For example, "This podcast is very helpful," or I really like that shirt you wore in your last photo. Or even better, I am proud of this progress I am making.
We read every single comment, and we smile because every sentence you write is a sign of your small courage. Your voice matters, even if it shakes.
Take small steps. Use your soft words. Don't be afraid of the silence, and don't be afraid of the mistakes. You are closer than you think, and you are doing better than you realize.
We'll see you in the next episode of English Podcasters. Keep speaking, keep growing, and always remember, even a whisper counts as a victory.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a wonderful, brave day.
Bye. Remember, you are becoming an English speaker every single day.